Still here. For me.
It's really bad.
What is your path?
It's just a stigmatism.
That doesn't, yeah. That doesn't give us.
Like they just did both.
No court Virginia anyway.
Right. Right there.
Good evening. This is the work session for Northfield City Council, November 28th of 2023. May have this meeting was properly advertised in accordance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, and in the Press of Atlantic City on January 7th of this year. May I have a flag salute led by Mayor Chow, please?
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Roll call, Mrs. Bucci?
Here.
Mrs. Carfagno?
Here.
Mr. Deweese?
Here.
Mr. Leeds?
Here.
Mr. Notaro?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Palestina?
Here.
Mr. Chow?
Here.
Mr. President?
Thank you. Now we'll move right into our committee reports. Councilman Leeds.
Thank you. So for the month of October, there were 96 EMS calls, 53 fire calls. I want to congratulate the mainland football team for the blowout, 56-0, pretty impressive. And a big championship. And I also want to thank all the team fire EMS from Northfield, Linwood, Farmers Point, for bringing them home in style. Unfortunately, there was a head-on collision right in front as the parade was starting, and the police were very busy, and especially want to thank Chief Von Collins for jumping in and helping us all through the scene. It was pretty chaotic there for a little bit, and everybody was safe and all that. It was a very long parade. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Deweese.
I didn't get escalated, Quinn and I met with, Mr. Brady and did a walkthrough of, Virtual Park for the disc golf. It doesn't seem unreasonable. I'm working on getting a price together so we can see how we're gonna approach this. I'll have that for the next meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Councilwoman Bucci.
Thank you. I want to also congratulate the mainland football team in their undefeated season and winning the state championships. Municipal Alliance Cookies with a Cop is on 12/16 at 11 a.m. at the Northfield Library. Registration is required, so please contact Shannon at the clerk's office. Christine's Italian Pastries is the one that's donating the gingerbread, so I just want to give a shout out to them as that was very nice of them to do that. Also, Northfield Police Department is participating in the Holidays with Heroes on 12/2. Northfield's, they're accepting checks at Northfield PD payable to EHT PAL. I think it's still okay to hand them in, Chief. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, just want to echo the congratulations for the program at Mainland. Also want to note that besides the athletes, the student athletes on the team and the cheerleading squad and in the band, there are also a number of coaches who are Northfield residents. The head coach and coordinator are also Northfield residents and taxpayers. So we congratulate the entire staff as well for their accomplishments. And really all I have, President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Carfagnan.
Thank you, Council President. The cultural committee had their flea market. Everything turned out fine as far as I know. I was not able to attend. But that's what I hear. And a shout out to all of our first responders who assisted with the parade for mainland. It was amazing. We had a bunch of family from out of town and they just said, this is what a small town looks like. And they were really happy to see all the presents, not just through Northfield, but through all three towns. And it was just great to see, and it was a great event overall. In addition to football, tennis, the band, and also the cross-country team all won certain titles in their field. So congratulations to all those teams. The next board meeting is December 18th at 6 p.m. if anybody wants to attend. That's all.
Councilman Notaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd also like to echo the congratulations on all of our many teams in our community that have won these championships. I was very blessed this year to be a part of the Mainland's win all season long. It was a historic season. The community support and the support from our police department, our fire department, also Linwood's Fire Department, Police Department, Summers Point, the parade was amazing. It was just, we went through all the towns up around MacArthur Boulevard, back to Mainland. Amazing, just to see the people coming out and standing on the streets and cheering them on. Also from fan, we had a couple of winners. We had the Cape Atlantic Junior Football League Championships for Pee Wee and JV as well. That's all I have.
They won as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
I saw the games going on Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the championship.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate them as well, and the other coach Smith and the mainland football team for quite an outstanding season and dedication. Hopefully he gets to rest a little now, because I know he'll probably start next season in a couple weeks. So congratulations to all of them. That's all. I have no other committee report. I don't believe we have any updates on the ad hocs. And certainly water. So we're still waiting to hear back from Habitat. They do have the survey. So when we hear back, we'll have something more to report to see what they anticipate for those two the two sites up on Dolphin Avenue. The new grants, we scheduled. Thank you. Yeah, and I saw we got a letter from the county executive supporting it and asking the state to take that into account and that it would be a good thing for. We do have two grants. Thank you, Mary. One on the agenda. One for the fire department, or both from the fire department. One for rescue plan for firefighter grant, and then the other from the South Jersey Gas. So it's always good to get whatever we can from these grants. These opportunities are out there. The next item being our reorg. And the requirement is that we have to have reorg within the first 7 days. I talked about a date, the second of the two, but so is that a date that works for everyone? Rework. Either that, or we do a set, or we would do a special meeting Thursday or.
Is that an earlier meeting?
No, we have 4 o'clock usually, right?
No, we would just do it.
I mean, what am I saying? 4 o'clock, I'm thinking of budget, yeah. Regular, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
fine
could
on
just
the
adjust the time.
Yeah, yeah.
We could do it early.
Yeah, we could do it. I mean,
Yeah, you should go back to school.
I do, but I have jury duty, so.
not good. Jury duty.
I do.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's done by three.
So we did it.
That date's fine with me.
As long as you can-
Good, okay,
whatever
so
time.
we'll plan on the secondary for the reorg, 6 p.m. I think we usually push it till 7, but we don't need to do that. That,
So all good, 6 p.m.?
6 p.m.?
Okay.
What's the date again?
January 2nd?
Just in case.
The Tuesday.
Yeah, at this time, we will, please refer to your agenda. Approval of the minutes. Councilwoman Carfagno and Councilman Notaro. Resolutions. Any of these resolutions anyone would like pulled from the consent agenda?
I don't want to pull, I just want to thank Mary for putting them out to the fire department.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor. So consent agenda, Councilwoman Bucci and Councilman DeWeese. Payment of bills, Councilman Leeds. And meeting notices, Councilman Smith. Second on payment of bills will be, Councilman Notaro. Councilman Smith? At this time, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any topic, we ask you to please step forward, state your city residence and your name for the record. And if anyone's in Zoom, please raise your Zoom hand. Okay.
Motion.
Okay, seeing no one, the public session is now closed. We have a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let me know when we're ready for the next one. Okay,
Good evening. This is the regular session for Northfield City Council, November 28th of 2023. This meeting was properly advertised in accordance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, and in the Press of Atlantic City on January 7th of this year. May I have a flag salute led by Mayor Chow, please?
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And again, ladies and gentlemen, let us remember and keep in our prayers those serving our nation's armed forces, especially our troops away from home and our first responders. Thank you. Please be seated.
Mrs. Bucci?
Here.
Mrs. Carfagno?
Here.
Mr. DeWeese?
Here.
Mr. Leeds?
Here.
Mr. Notaro?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Palestina?
Here.
Mr. Chow?
Here.
Mr. President?
thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I have a letter from County Executive Dennis Levinson. This is a letter in support for Northfield's application to the New Jersey Department of Transportation for funding under the Safe Routes to School Grant Program. I urge the New Jersey DOT to strongly consider this application for funding, as it will promote the health and safety of our residents, and in particular, our children who are our future. I received an update with regards to the proposed project at the county for the diocese home for senior citizens. Let me just preface by saying he is working, this is with Mr. Ferguson. I'm working with the city professionals, that is the COA attorney and the COA planner, to develop an amended housing element and fair share plan and zone in the overlay ordinance. He hopes that the draft will be finished within the next 2 weeks. And at that point, once that has been accomplished, then he will be seeking before the planning board approval for these changes as a regulatory requirement in January, and then have council begin the adoption process in January also. Simultaneously, the city will have to seek their affordable housing settlement agreement modified to include this project. The court hearing for this is tentatively scheduled for January 22nd of 2024. Once these elements have been put in place, we will then begin, or they will then begin the process of chasing down the money in order to get the preliminary approval for funding in March. They will need from the Atlantic County between now and February an agreement for the sale of the property, and they will hopefully they can meet with them in the next several weeks regarding this. The second announcement is I just want to remind everyone that the annual Mayor's Tree Lighting Contest will be started for December as usual, and anyone who's interested, both a business as well as residential, can pick up an application from the city clerk's office. Also, I want to announce, excuse me, that the holiday decorating event that's held here at City Hall will be on, December the 11th at 7 p.m. And I believe the fire department will have hot chocolate and cookies. First. Oh, the first, I'm sorry, the first. We're gonna have hot chocolate and cookies, and Santa, we're gonna be driving through. And let's see, the next thing,
That's tree lighting.
that's the tree light, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Okay.
And let's see, and the last announcement is that tomorrow, Wednesday in the morning, the police committee, which is made up of Councilman Leeds and Councilman Louise, Councilman President Palestina, myself, will be meeting with the police PBA negotiation team here at here in City Hall. Right now, we will be submitting a proposal to the police PBA. This is a conglomerate of discussion between the committee and with our labor attorney. So that's all I can have to report on that at this time. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
I'd like to know the necessary motion for the approval of minutes from November 14th, 2023. They have been properly advertised in the press and there's a copy made available in the clerk's office.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Well, Council President, I just have one other, now I forgot. I had a discussion with Mr. Robert Zochnik, and evidently one of the things that he does is seek grants. And he's very much interested in maybe trying to seek a grant for Birch Grove Park. I would say I would bring it before City Council if you would like to have a presentation made with him.
Certainly. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Anytime you want.
Okay, thank you,
You're
Council
welcome to
President.
come in and help us.
Okay, thank you, Council President.
Thank you. No report, okay. No updates, okay. Be a quiet week. At this time, we'll open this meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any topic, we ask you please step forward and state your name and your city of residence for the record. Anyone in Zoom, please raise your hand. In Zoom.
No one's in.
Okay, seeing no one, the public session is now closed. May I have a motion for, I'm gonna have to read first. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. And I don't believe there's anything being removed, so may I please have a motion to vote by consent agenda?
I'd like necessary motion to vote by consent agenda for resolutions 222-2023 through 225-2023.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion to adopt.
I'd like to make the necessary motion to adopt by consent agenda resolutions 222-2023 through 225-2023.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Bucci?
Yes.
Mrs. Carfano?
Yes.
Mr. Deweese?
Yes.
Mr. Leeds?
Yes.
Mr. Notaro?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Palesino?
Yes.
Motion carries for the adoption of the consent agenda.
Payment of bills?
I can make the, motion to pay the bill, $988,585.75.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Bucci?
Yes.
Mrs. Carfano?
Yes.
Mr. Deweese?
Yeah.
Mr. Leeds? Mr. Notaro?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Palestina?
Yes.
Motion carries for payment of bill.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
First, I'd like to
Oh,
announce that we have meetings.
well, thank you so much. I know, I forgot all about it. My fault.
6 P.M. work session with the regular session file.
Thanks for coming in, Brian.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
That was a good one there, Brian.